This is talkSPORT MMA, and I'm here with Cris Cyborg ahead of her return to MMA under the PFL banner in Lyon against Sara Collins on December 13th. Cris, I know you are very excited for this one. Your first MMA fight ever in Europe, which is quite insane when you think about it. Tell me more about how you're feeling towards this one.
I feel very thankful and happy for the opportunity be fighting again, and happy to go to first time to fight MMA in France. I know it's one sport new for them, like just start to be illegal there, and I feel very blessed to have the opportunity to be in 20 years my career, and before the end, I have the opportunity to be a fight there in front of the all the fans from Europe, and I'm very excited.
I mean, it's just incredible, at 40 years of age, you're still able to do new things in your career. Is that not very motivating for yourself?
Every day you have to motivate yourself to wake up and doing better and learn. Um, I didn't think about the age. I think just you have to keep it move, keep it motivate, keep it find stuff it can make you motivate. And for me, my faith wake up in the morning, make me motivate every day. And I love my job. I love what I do. I know I have saying like. My first fight when I did it with Pacheco, I say started the Legacy Tour. So I have this year, next year, and then I'm gonna retire. Um, but I love my job. I love work. So this is motivating me every day, and I'm very thankful all the fans support me all these 20 years in my career, and I'm grateful. I love my job. I love what I do.
Well, you mentioned there a bit of a legacy tour there, and I do want to get into that. But first and foremost, I think a lot of fans of yours and combat sports fans in general would be quite interested to hear, about because I mentioned there it's your first MMA fight in over a year, but you've still been very active in the combat world since then, entering the boxing world. Can you kind of talk to me about going back and forth between MMA and boxing and some of the biggest challenges you faced, doing that?
Because I've been fighting like MMA one time a year, so you have to keep active. And when I close a fight, like I have a boxing fight, keep motivated, be out the couch. It's different way when you training when you have a fight, but then when you just keep the routine. I always like to be a trainee, but when you have a fight, you train differently. And I really love boxing. I been start doing my first one I did in Brazil. I believe it was in 2022, and now soon I've stopped. Soon I'm doing dumb MMA. I started putting forward the training, boxing, learning, and I would like to finish my career, try to fight for a world title in boxing. I know it's a lot of things to think, but it's one thing motivated me every morning to training. Um, I know I'm a Fox now for Sara Collins, but after that, for sure, I'm gonna back to the boxing and the training and the learn. I think every boxing fight, every camp, I learned something new. Not just improve my game for boxing, but improve me to MMA. I love challenge. Like it's no even like a boxing. I I did it just one competition, High Rocks, 3 weeks ago. So I like to do races. I like competing. My whole life I started competing when I was 12 years old, and this is keeping fire in my heart and motivate me.
I mean, I think it's very obvious that you're definitely a competitor at heart, Chris. And it's very, honest of yourself to be so open about this legacy tour and the fact that you do want to have one more MMA fight and that's it. And I know you'll purely be focused on this fight in France in December, but have you kind of started to think about maybe who you would like that final fight to be against when the time comes?
Um, I know. I know PFL been thinking about my next opponents. Leah McCarthy is the one of the girl I was supposed to fight for defend the title Bellator. She's the one that would like maybe you can fight. Clarissa Shields, I know she's very heavy. And she's fight I think the last fight in PFL 165. But maybe we can make something like we can fight boxing and MMA, and that doesn't matter what weight you at in MMA. Doing something cool like that. I think it was I don't know. I want to do a fight exciting for my last fight. Um, and then we have like discussed about maybe we can fight in Brazil for the last fight. So it's a lot of things can come up, but for me, I'm focused on Liam McCourt, and I'm focused about Sarah Collins, and after that, you can think about what's going to be the next.
I mean, we saw Charles Oliveira go back to Brazil recently, and what a performance that was in front of his home crowd against Mateus Gamrot. Chris, in terms of that last fight, the last MMA fight, I'm sure when the time comes and you get past this one in December, there will be so much to look back on and so much to remember, from throughout your entire career. As you said, you started at 12 and some of the biggest fights in UFC history. If you could just think of one, what's the first thing that comes into your head, when you think of your fondest memory throughout your fighting career so far?
When I think about everything, I just think like how blessed, how God amazing my life. Um, I never have a dream to be a fighter. So it's something like God put in my life and give the opportunity, and I got it. I think it was the be all the belts I got in my career, be a fighter. I think is the reason is just share my faith for all my fans, help them overcome any situation in their lives. Fighters' life is no easy. Even sometimes we're in the cage there, but we have a lot of things going on around our lives, but we have to poker face and keep going. And the same thing, we are a normal person like anyone, have to face every day in your job and sometimes hard time, but you have to overcome. I just feel like very grateful and thankful for, and to be responsibility too, because when I started MMA, didn't have a lot of girls, didn't have a lot of example the fighters for me. So and then one of the things I always focus on open the opportunity for the girls, and it make me really happy for see how much the women's may grow so much in 20 years. And this is make me really happy when I see the young girls say, Chris, I start fighting after watch you in Gina Carano. Make me really happy, I say, man, I did it. I did my job. I was fighting about the divisions. I believe the girls deserve more divisions like the guys. So we did our best. I did it. I try my best for make the sport better and professional and make exciting fight, make people motivated watching girls fight. And now you can see younger girls coming up and then new faces, new champions.
That's amazing to hear, and I'm sure you've definitely had such an impact on so many people in the world in just your fighting career alone, never mind outside of it. And you mentioned I want to get on to boxing a bit more now. You mentioned that fighting for a world title is something that you want to do, after your MMA career is finished. And I look at you now, you've certainly got a few world titles on your resume to date. And just this week, it just came into my head. It was announced that Holly Holm, who you fought in the UFC. So it got me a bit excited because there was history there. Holly Holm's challenging for the WBA lightweight title in January on the undercard of Serrano Cruz. And I'm not sure if you're aware. Are you aware of this announcement of Holm fighting for a world title? And I mean, is that not just something that would be so cool to do?
Yes, she's gonna fight beginning of January. I saw that announced, and Holly is like an amazing fighter, athlete, amazing person. I have the opportunity to meet her in person and be with her a couple days training together, and I'm really excited for her. She's every day motivated, so she's motivated me too. So I think it's really nice. It's a great opportunity for her. Come came from boxing and have a challenge. Come to MMA. She did the history of MMA and then now back to boxing. It's an amazing story, resume, and I'm really happy to support her.
So let's just say Holly Holm goes out there and gets the job done in January, and you go out there, have your retirement fight. Maybe Holly makes one defense of the title, and then you get the call. Chris, Holly Holm, the second fight. Let's run it back. Surely you can't say no to that.
You know, uh, I love Holly. She's my friend. In different division boxing, I fight 154. But we never know if they're paying good. We are professional, but let's support Holly for her next title.
That's awesome to hear, and I fully respect that. You mentioned having one more MMA fight under the PFL banner. I've been asking fighters, every single fighter I'm sure has had kind of one eye on this, and I know it's in a different promotion. It's in the UFC. It's the White House card in June 2026 next year. It's reportedly meant to be on Donald Trump's birthday, a big celebration. Is that something that you look at and think, oh, that would be that'd be quite exciting to fight on?
No, I believe like it's gonna be a great event. I think a lot of people is gonna be watching. Great opportunity for all the fighters be at the White House, and I live my life in God's hands, and any good opportunity show up for me for sure. God's gonna put it. We have our plans, but God have the best plan for us. So the time is to be supposed to be who's gonna be fighting that card. Uh, no, this is no I cannot control. But for me. My next fight is going to be in PFL and the next year again, and then that's it to finalize the chapter.
Now, one of the fights that has kind of been a bit of a favorite to take place on that, Amanda Nunes, who you fought as well, and another one of the who's who of the greatest female fighters you've been in there with, has said she's going to come back and she's going to fight Kayla Harrison on that card or at another event. I just kind of want to get your thoughts briefly on Amanda making a return to the UFC and her taking on someone like Kayla.
I'm very excited for this fight. Amanda's young. She's stop fighting young. I believe it's gonna be a great fight. I know they know each other. They train together at the America Top Team. For sure, inside their hearts, they know who's gonna win the fight. Um, but I believe Amanda have a danger strike, danger jiu-jitsu. And Kayla getting better and better. I believe it's gonna be a very exciting fight. Um, but I believe Amanda defend the double leg and keep stand up. It's not gonna be good for Kayla. But I'm very excited to see how it's gonna work.
So you said everyone knows in their heart who's going to win that fight. Who do you think would win that fight?
I believe it like this. If Amanda can defend her double leg, her takedowns, I believe it's gonna be hard for Kayla beat Amanda Nunes strike. And even she it's even she's getting better. Is different. Is different. She's already being it's Amanda Nunes very elite fighter. So I'm not saying Kayla's not, but I believe she have more game to beat Kayla. But if Kayla do her game and I'm gonna gas, get tired, for sure. I think it's like we have to watch for see who's gonna win. For me, it doesn't matter who win, but I'm very excited to watch the fight. It's gonna be amazing. Another Brazilian beat Kayla. It will. Let's see.
That's such a fascinating insight, Chris. And just two more names I want to throw at you before I let you go. It was only this month, I believe you replied to some comments made about Ronda Rousey. Ronda came out and was talking about being, not being treated so well by fans after losses, and I think you've made the point quite a few times that your UFC record was better than hers, and there's been rumors about Ronda coming back to the UFC. She has denied it. She's saying it's not going to happen. But if Ronda turned around and went, Chris, because I mean yourself and Ronda is probably one of the biggest fights to have never happened in the UFC. If Ronda says to Cris Cyborg, let's do it. Let's give the fans what they want. What's your response to that? And what was your response to kind of what Ronda was saying about MMA fans?
I believe she's very frustrated. I think it's easy to blame the others. When you feel in your heart, it's better. I believe like she's never set up in her heart about her loss. One of the things like you learn when you're fighting, if you lose, if you fall 7 times, or stand up 8 times. It's very sad that like when you stop fighting, when you lose the fight. So we didn't have this opportunity to overcome. I believe this is she's having her heart, and I believe the fans get a little bit upset because they really follow the people. Doesn't matter if it's just a win. People like your personality. People uh, love the message that you can give it to them. And then maybe it's not the message they like. Like when you lose, you stop fighting, you quit. So um, I believe this is maybe she feel like the fans they didn't and then welcome to her. But I believe she's something in her head. I believe she did a lot of sports. Believe it's gonna be amazing if she's really overcome all the losses and coming back fighting. She's gonna show the young girls, oh, man, you can lose. Yeah, it can happen. It's the learning time. So in the life is not just like I have my friend says. Life is no strawberry. It's like it's gonna have a rough, hard times, and you have to overcome. I have hard times in my career, and I overcome. I have a lot of hard times. You have to be fighting the system the whole time, and I keep going. This is motivating me for sure. This is motivating all young girls to make change. Um, and then I don't know. I hope the best for her. I hope she's put her head right and do what she think feel her heart and for be better for her.
Can we get Ronda to sign a one fight deal under the PFL for Cyborg's retirement fight?
I don't believe she's only think about this fight in her life. I know she was calling my name a lot, but this is a
Yeah.
strategy people use. I mean, 20 years in my career, people been calling my name. Um, Before Ronda started fighting, I was already champion in MMA. So she's calling my name just for people give attention to her. It's not something she's really would like to fight me. But this is no marketing. People smart, get his strategy. Um, I wish the best for her.
Just one last thing before I let you go, Chris. Jake
Yes.
Paul's been doing a lot in terms of women's boxing. The fights he put on between Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano, he's really shining a light on women's boxing and how massive it can be. I'm not sure if, what he's doing at Most Valuable Promotions. What kind of have your been what have your thoughts been on what he's doing for women's boxing and kind of his own career? Because there is a bit of similarity between yourself transitioning over to boxing and he's coming over and wanting to fight all these MMA fighters.
I think it's really cool what Jake Paul doing for the women's boxing. I think it's amazing how the Katie Taylor and Serrano fight. I was there one of the fights. It was amazing crowd. Everybody love it. And they deserve. I really happy having one, stand up for boxing, women's boxing, and bring the light for them and pay them well worth it, and then do amazing. I'm really grateful for this, and then now Holly, with them too. It's really nice. Have people supporting women's boxing.
Has there been any conversations there between yourself and Jake Paul's MVP?
I went to the events and we conversation a little bit, but I'm still focused on my MMA fight, so doing some boxing fight during. Maybe I never close the doors. I'm always open for the opportunities, the best for my MMA or boxing career.
Chris, you've been amazing. Thank you so much for your time today, and hopefully I will be there in Lyon come December. I'm really looking forward to it. Thank you so much.